productive third of spring football is completed, first 5 practices. I really kind of like our schedule because we're able to have a third of spring ball, be able to reassess where we're at, evaluate every player in our program, kind of where they're at, and then when they come back after spring break, we'll have meetings on Monday, and we'll reassess where we're at as a team. We'll reassess where everyone is individually, and then they have 2/3 of spring ball to be able to continue to grow. I like where we're at. We're still, have to be a much tougher football team. Really establishing our playmakers on offense, all those things that go along with that. Same thing defensively, our overall tackling, all that stuff.
Coach, how does where you're at after these first 5 practices measure up to where you had hoped to be when you kind of outlined your benchmarks before spring?
Yeah, good question. We had those 5 things that we needed to get accomplished, and you're not going to accomplish all 5 of those in 5 practices. But I like where we're at. We have a lot of individuals playing meaningful football for the first time, and that's the exciting thing about new teams. There's new opportunities, there's new roles, and even with our 12 transfers that we brought in, it's really the first time that they're full-time position players. So they're learning the daily grind of spring practice and all that is associated with that. But for us, I think we have to focus in the moment each and every day, take one day at a time, and not just practice days, but the off days where we lift and where we meet and walk through is just as important as the practice days. But I like where we're at. But we experienced the low red area in field quadrants for the first time today, and we struggled offensively because you have to be perfect in the red zone. Your landmarks shrink, the timing accelerates, and we weren't able to function at that fast-paced tempo when we got into the low red area today.
What does the spring break look like for you, just as far as from a coaching standpoint and for the staff?
Yeah, we'll have a big meeting tomorrow. We'll reassess every player in the program. We'll go through where we're at schematically, and then we'll also hit recruiting very, very hard. And then we'll take a week and kind of refresh, so to speak. Our coaches will be off, and then we'll convene back on Sunday. We'll have a team meeting, and we'll get going for the 2/3 left of spring football.
Coach, how vital is it with a team that has a lot of new faces to find that leadership on this team? You were talking about it earlier, but the leadership, especially now, before you go into the off season and then you get ready for fall camp. When fall camp gets here, as you like to say, it's real.
Right.
How important is it to find that leadership now?
Well, everything is in spring football. Your toughness is born in spring football. Your leadership is born right now. It isn't born in the summer. It's born right now. And then it just propels and accentuates throughout the course of the summer. And that's why we're doing our Olympics. We have 10 individuals that are firsthand trying out to see if they can lead a group of 10. But, right now we need more leadership. Right now, offensively, I think that's one of the areas where we're struggling. On defense, make no mistake about it, the face of our defense is Justin Parks. He owns it. Been really, really pleased with his growth and his development in leadership, but also in his style of play and on his play. Right now, he's performing the best of anyone, but he works his craft. He works at it every single day.
Who's the lead in your Olympics, and why? Why have they been successful?
Well, right now, Jackson Daly's team is we have about 4 teams that are vying, and then we've incorporated spring football with them, and then there's going to start to become repercussions for teams in last place, so to pick up the leadership. But you really find out who can lead a group of 10, who can get them to maybe do things they don't want to do, and hold them accountable.
I wanted to ask about Josh Conklin and just, your relationship with him and early impressions of him so far.
Well, we're excited to welcome Josh and his family into our football family. As we all know, he's an experienced veteran football coach. He's coached at all levels, so he brings a really strong knowledge base for our staff, but also to our players. And so he's had a very short week, but I'm excited about the addition. I think he's gonna bring a whole nother element, to our staff. And more so than anything, he's a great character individual.
A follow-up on Conklin, with him having worked with Harley in the past, or Harley having worked for him, or however you want to phrase that, how much of this defense is he kind of maybe familiar with?
Yeah, that was one of the benefits. He's very familiar with the defense, so he knows the ins and outs. And then the thing that I like it is he's experienced other things, so he has the ability to kind of bring the new experiences that he's experienced, whether as a defensive coordinator somewhere as a head coach, and kind of bring that to our defense and also to our special teams. And I think anytime an individual has sat in the head coaching chair, he understands, he gets it, he knows how to lead people. But I think, again, the vast experiences that he has, not only with our defensive scheme, but the other defensive schemes that he's coached in or ran, is going to be beneficial for us to move forward.
What can you tell us? I'm sorry.
No,
I've got a
you're
couple
good.
more.
You're
I'm
good.
long-winded
You're good.
today. I apologize.
good.
What can you tell us about Jacob Bayer and just how he's performed in these first 5 practices?
Been really excited about Jacob. When we talk about leadership, he is one of those individuals that can bring that leadership. He's extremely competitive, very intelligent, has a command presence about himself, brings a physical element to that position. So we're excited about him, and I think as he grows, and all 5, to 10 individuals of really kind of molding, of understanding how they play together, I think that's the thing too. When you have so many new faces in the offensive line, it's those understanding how to work together as one unit.
It looked like with your 2s, it was Walker Davis maybe at center. So with this being his first camp, what are you seeing there? What do you hope to see?
I've been really encouraged by Walker, and here's an individual who should still be in high school, and we've asked a lot out of him, and I'm very encouraged. He's competitive, very, very smart, and he wants to do it. He has a drive. Last week, it was about 10 o'clock at night, and we heard some yelling and screaming down the hallway in a meeting room. We were like, what's going on? And we walked down there, and he has the video on. He's freeze frame it. He's in his stance, and he's calling out the linebacker alignments and all his calls in the run game and pass game. And I think that kind of is a great illustration of who he is, and he's going to do great things for us.
Okay, that was it.